do us a 1, 2, 3. What did this building lack?
What did this building lack? This building lacked people with a soul who were in charge of it, yeah? Kensington and Chelsea are saying that their arm's length management organisation are responsible, the Kensington and Chelsea Tenant Management Organisation. How arm's length are you when you're in the same offices? KCTMO were in Kensington and Chelsea's offices on High Street, Kensington until last year when they moved down to Kensal Road.
So
yeah?
as you said, a lot of money was spent on it, but what was missing? What was missing?
What was missing?
Safety!
What was missing? I don't look. I'm not an architect, yeah, but it doesn't make sense to me to run a gas main along emergency stairs, because one of the things you're probably going to want emergency stairs for is a fire. You know, so whose idea was that? Homer Simpson, Frank Spencer, you tell me. Seriously, because it is outrageous that things like this happen. I know people who lived in that block who complained since 2012. I attended a meeting with Jonathan Bohr, Kensington and Chelsea's head of planning in 2012. We were told there was nothing to be concerned about by Lord Aldridge's vanity project, that new school over there. Yeah, Lord Aldridge, by the way, was involved in the Cash for Honours affair, as you recall, which ensured that Tony Blair was the first ever sitting Prime Minister in history to be interviewed under police caution. You know, his DNA is on the database now because he was interviewed in that way. That is outrageous. It is all just corrupt money making for people who don't really care around here. Yeah. Our former MP, Victoria Borick, what were the two main platforms she stood on? She wanted to bring back fox hunting and she wanted to repeal the laws on trading ivory. As you can see around here, we have lots of problems with foxes attacking our livestock. And we have a real serious elephant problem in the area, so we're very keen to get rid of them.
But once again, you went through a 1, 2, 3. Just give me the 1, 2, 3 of what was missing. Sprinklers, stairwell.
Sprinklers were missing, an alarm system was missing, and a coordinated response was missing. The fact that the fire brigade weren't able to even get more than one engine underneath that building, I think contributed to the people's deaths. You know, the fact that Grenfell Road is barely 10 foot wide with cars parked on either side, I think contributed to people's deaths. The fact that the Aldridge Academy was allowed to violate their planning application and then have everything okayed under retrospective planning applications by Jonathan Bohr's department at Kensington and Chelsea, I think had an effect. Because there was no way that physically for fire engines or any other emergency vehicles to get into that area.
What do you think should happen now?
What do I think should happen? I think Theresa May should resign, yeah? Because frankly, at the minute, that building is more strong and stable than she is, yeah? She is a disgraceful Prime Minister to have allowed ministers in her government to allow things like that to happen. And to announce an inquiry today, I will save you £15 million. Greed is the reason that happened. Greed and hubris. That's why. They didn't care about us. The fire brigade's advice is to stay in your property. If the building regulations had been complied, that would have been very wise advice to give people. Unfortunately, they weren't, and so people who obeyed that died. I know people who died. I know people who went back in to get dogs or family or things like that who ended up dying. There are people who got out and their children didn't. Can you imagine how they must feel? You know, they thought that their children were out safely already because they were with other people, and yet now they have to sleep with that at night. I bet you number 10 has sprinklers, number 10 Downing Street. I bet you City Hall has sprinklers. I bet you Kensington Palace up the road has sprinklers. I bet you Chelsea Wharf has sprinklers. I bet you BBC Television Centre and its redevelopment will have sprinklers. But the one place that needed them was that. The one place that didn't get them was that, because more money was spent on the exterior than was spent on even the cent to do the slightest bit of safety work to try and improve the lives of the people who were in there and the exterior, the interior of that block. You know, Robert. What's his name? I can't remember. Robert Black, the current chief executive of KCTMO, who is supposedly arm's length, as I've already told you. How come, if they're arm's length, they are able to use lawyers from Kensington and Chelsea Council to send cease and desist letters to people who are in the Grenfell Action Group to tell them to stop scaremongering when they were raising what have now been proven to be 100% accurate concerns
and paid for
about
it with
this
their
billion.
lives.
And it was paid for, well, the lawyers are paid for with our taxes. Okay, so they're using our money to shut us up in order to in order to line the pockets of their friends. I'll tell you something. One of our local councillors, Councillor Lashari, the Labour councillor, lived on Testerton Walk. She is just as homeless as the rest of us is at the moment now. Do you think Nicholas Paget-Brown, the leader of the Conservative group at Kensington and Chelsea, is homeless?
No.
Do you think anyone else in the Conservative group is homeless? No, of course they're not. Do you think any of them even have set foot inside a council estate?
No.